Hi guys and welcome to ThrustZone.com. This is Mohit Soni. You know this is the Kia Sonet. This is the 2021 version that was introduced later half of the 2021, and it's here with us to spend some time. Of course, the 2022 version has been launched, but of course it gets changes here and there are no mechanical or interior changes. So most of the car is still the same. What is still new over the 2022 version? Let's find out that. And as always, let's begin with the design because if you remember our 2020 review, we told you the fact that this car is a very good looking car. It gets the tiger nose grille, it gets a very good looking LED DRLs at the front. This is the GT line, so there is red accents everywhere on the grille, on the bumper, on the sides, as well as on the alloy wheels. You get red calipers and the red lug cap on the wheel. 16-inch wheels, of course. Side profile clearly reminds me of a smaller Volvo XC40 in the way how the roof goes up, and of course this also looks like another car, which is the Maruti Ignis. Of course, at the back, it is when it came in the year 2020, it was fantastic because this LED light bar looks really amazing. The rear tail lamps also look impressive because these LEDs are really good, and I'll show you in the night how the car looks like as always. This is the boot. Quite good, spacious, not deep enough, but it can still take a lot of luggage that you want to throw in. And as you can see, it's full of something else and a proper spare tire with a steel wheel, of course. Chrome handlebars, surprisingly. At the back, you can see you get manual sun blinds, which is fantastic. It's a little fidgety to get used to. Getting inside, last time also I loved these mats, and they are a breath of fresh air in the way things are done. These are the AC vents and fast charging points. The door pads are slightly disappointing because they can only hold one bottle, and you've got contrast stitching, leather finish. This is one of the most premium cars you can buy in this segment by a long shot. Keyless entry and go, turn indicators on the ORVMs, and getting inside, as you can see, height adjustable belts, leather seats, traction control, front and rear parking sensors, engine start stop button, an LCD display for the instrument cluster, and it shows a compass, tire pressure, and all the driving info that you need. And this are the set of buttons here which you can control from. So that's for the cruise control. This is the star button, which is your favorite mode. Basically, if I put it on the activating privacy mode, so when I do that, nobody can see what kind of music is playing, what caller is calling, and everything just goes into privacy mode. The star button is also available here for the so we've set it here for the ambient lighting, and as you can see, there is ambient lighting also offered on this car. It's one of the first sub 4 meter cars to have this feature. AC is fantastic. Even at 25 degrees level 1 blower, it's keeping us quite cool in this really hot Bombay right now. That's the wireless charger, fast charging point, 12 volt socket, a USB port, very nicely carved cup holders to keep the key as well. You've got a small center armrest, and like I forgot to show you, there is a air purifier here at the back. You've got this aluminum finish handlebars, but they are at the end of the day plastic. That's how you lock. These AC vents also are an inspiration from a bigger car, a bigger premium car. The 10-inch screen is, of course, again a bigger highlight in this segment. It is a bit slow, but not really slow, so the refresh rate basically could be higher. Both sound system is good, but not great. It's above average. It could have been tuned better. This is what we found out, since we are road testing it for the first time after the 2020 first drive. That's what we noticed after spending almost 15 days with this. So that is why we look forward to road testing the cars and telling you more about it, because first impressions are always first impressions. Ventilated seats, traction modes, drive modes, which include normal, eco, and sport, and traction mode, there is no mud and sand. So this is also a great addition. Like I told you, this is the most premium car you can buy in this segment. It has everything you would ever need. It's got a small sunroof. The only feature this car does not have is power seats, and I think or an electric parking brake. I think that would make this car completely feature loaded, because it has everything else. It has the Yubo Connect, which is now called the Kia Connect, and it's called the SOS system. It's got the towing, so it's got its own connectivity system where you can use it really well. You've got navigation on offer as well, and yeah, you've got a lot of features to play around with. There are small details that are included in this car, which is fantastic. This is only when you spend time with this car you will realize that the amount of features that this car has is very it's a very long list basically. And yeah, that's the interior. The plastic quality also looks nice, feels good everywhere. Like I told you, what you saw at the back is also here at the front. Plastics also feel nice, they don't feel cheap. You've got this sort of null defect on the AC vents as well. Only on the lower top, the upper part still remains piano black. And that is the 360-degree camera. I'm not sure why it's not working, but let's put it into reverse. And as you can see, you got get guidelines as well. This gear lever is also taken off from the Seltos entirely. This is truly a mini Seltos that we said earlier. We continue to stick with that aspect. The only thing is that, like I said, these 2-3 features are missing to make it a completely premium car. It has everything like the Seltos has. It's just small in size. The only negative that we have is that the car width is, as always, like any other Hyundai Group car, the width is on the lower side, but headroom, legroom, knee room is really good at the back and at the front. We've told you about it, so there's no need to do it again. And yeah, this is also a pretty brand new car that we're driving. It's only done 2384 kilometers, and there's some plastic clip remaining. Yeah, I think that's it. That's what the interior and exterior is all about. And let me get now to the driving part. So that is how the Kia Sonet looks in the night. These are fantastic looking LED DRLs. As promised, I will show you in the night. Those are the fog lamps. They work really well. We've been driving them without the main beam and they're still doing a very good job. The LED lights here also are really good. The illumination spread is impressive. So that is how the fog lamps behave only with the LED DRL. This is the main beam and that's the high beam. As you can see, it goes rather straight. The illumination on the side is not that great. It could have been better. I think that's the downside to having just LED lights and not projectors and normal bulbs. But we still did not find any issues navigating pitch black darkness on Mumbai-Pune Expressway or the lanes of Pune or Bombay while we were driving this car. So what is the Kia Sonet like to drive? What we're driving here is the diesel automatic after almost 2 years. And what can we relate from the first drive and what has been the difference after doing almost 1,000 kilometers on it? Well, is the fact that it's the most powerful engine of the lot. It gets an automatic gearbox. The gearbox is smooth, seamless, and relatively the shifts are quick. It's not super quick. The upshifts as well as the downshifts take a second or half a second to do so. They are not, of course, dual clutch super quick, but the gearbox is still very good. It's a fantastic thing to have in Bombay traffic here because the diesel is so smooth, so refined, and so is the gearbox. The driving experience is just seamless, smooth, very quiet, and feels like a premium car. The car that you paid almost 17 lakh rupees for on road in this diesel automatic top of the line GT line Avatar almost seems worth the money because the drivetrain, the powertrain is excellent, including the gearbox, of course. The drivetrain entirely, though, let's talk about the chassis and suspension because there's no real criticism with the gearbox and the engine. They are really great. Of course, the fuel efficiency is slightly on the lower side. What we're getting is 12 to 13 in the city and 18 on the highway. We expected it to deliver a bit more. I think this is a slightly abused car, so I think it needs a bit of a service, and I'm sure within in the right hands, in the sane hands, it can deliver even more, but this particular car hasn't done that. And the other thing that is, of course, the chassis part is the fact that it's still a Kia, and the Seltos had very harsh suspension. As a result, it was great fun to drive, and there was a bit of body roll, and there was a bit of vertical movement, but that was barely noticeable. Here, it's slightly more noticeable because I spent my time in the driver's seat, I spent my time in the passenger seat, I spent time in the back seat as well. That's one of the reasons why, again, I'm saying road testing is very important for us. Is the fact that I noticed that the comfort could have been better. Even I'm on the heavier side, I still could feel the driver's enthusiastic driving. Also showed the fact that there is a bit of vertical movement, there's a bit of body roll that you can feel. Of course, I'm also a keen driver, so I can notice on the when I'm sitting as a passenger, I can also notice that, and that could have been fixed really well because the dimensions of the car are quite small, and I think tuning the suspension better can be done from Kia. I'm pretty sure they're working on it, and the brakes are good, but the best part about driving is the ride quality at any given speed. speed. The stability at high speed is also very good. It's only in a straight line that the Kia impresses truly well. In the corners there's a lot of body roll when you push it really hard, and you don't expect that to happen. The suspension, as always, the upper stroke is always on the softer side, the lower stroke is stiff. So when you're going fast and not maximizing the suspension, it works really well. The moment you want to make the suspension work, which is basically turning into corners, sweepers, and it's just that the suspension just lets you down. Of course the Kia is not the most it is the most premium car of the lot, but it is not the most sportiest car of the lot. That has to go to the likes of the Tata Nexon and other SUVs in the segment, like the Vitara Brezza, the Urban Cruiser. So they are the really sporty cars to drive in this segment, but they don't feel premium. So that's what brings me to my verdict. The Kia does everything really well. It can deliver very good fuel efficiency. It can drive really well if you don't ask much from it. If you keep it within the limits, you're absolutely going to love this car. And that's the reason why we are seeing a lot of these cars on the road. We are seeing a lot of Sonnets on the road, is because the average driver does not demand more from the chassis and suspension, or even the engine. They demand more of features and premium quality, and that's what Kia has delivered here. And it's one of the best selling cars in the segment, if not the very best or at the top, because that honor has now gone to other SUVs in the segment. And at some time Kia does trump the sales and comes at the very top, but now we all know the sales also is not easy because of the shortages. But that's why my point is that if you don't expect much from the chassis, suspension, drivetrain and powertrain, basically you can absolutely go ahead and buy this car. It's one of the best cars you can buy. But if you want something sporty, something very nice to drive, still has a diesel engine on offer, you'll have to look somewhere else. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you like it, share it with your friends and family. Comment if you still have some questions left. We'll be happy to answer it. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Follow us on our website and our social media. And until then, goodbye.